Went today and got ourselves a '03 Elantra transmission. Came out of a car with 102,000 miles on it. The VINs matched, so I knew it was the original transmission. It's dirty as shit. Every gasket on that thing leaked, but what we use is a little bit of this oven cleaner and does really good. I'll show you guys what it looks like after we're done here. Just coat that thing with this whole damn can. Oven cleaner, and you can see it starting to bring it off already. About takes your breath away, but it's way better than degreaser. Degreaser sucks compared to the oven cleaner. Oven cleaner is way better. You guys can see it starting to fall off. So, get ready to clean it up here. Well, that was a dirty one. It's still kind of dirty, but it's not as bad as what it was. I'm fine with it like that. It's cleaner in there now, so that's a good thing. But it's a lot cleaner than what it was. Okay, if you guys remember, we put lockup plates there and there on the Mistress. So I'll show you here. We put them like that right there. So I did a little bit of measurement. I had this piece right here, a little bit thicker still. I might use some of these to make the Mistress some new ones. Black looks all right on a silver car. Car's gonna need repainted before too long anyway as well here. We got a little bit of rust spots I need to fix on it, but right now, I think that'll look good. Block it off, and then you won't be getting all this D-series motor I did. Won't be getting all this air. See the air just right into your tires, A-arms, all that, all kinds of water, moisture going up into your core support. I mean, yes, it's supposed to have one of these that helps divert the wind, but it still just goes right into your inner fender well, which causes it to just blow it back and eventually start shredding it like it did there. So we're gonna block those off. Plus, you gain some mile an hour and a quarter. We'll eventually run this car in a quarter. We just got to get some stuff for the Mistress. If we get new coilovers for the Mistress, we can put these ones onto this car, and we gotta get an LSD. And I'm thinking about getting the Quaife LSD, since this car runs a Kaz LSD, and figuring out what kind of 60 foot we can get in this with a different style. And if it ends up getting a better 60 foot than what we could do with this car on Kaz with the same setup that this one used to have, well, we probably put the different LSD into this one. I don't know. It's just thought. I think it'd be a good idea. Which one's better, Quaife, Kaz? Who knows, right? Okay, I know a lot of you is probably wondering why we haven't had a video in a while of the Mistress and why it's not together yet, because you know me, I normally have something together really quick. But during shipping, can you guys tell that? Look how egged out these got. Both of them. It's hard to really tell now because I ended up massaging them and fixing them. I ended up finding this bit. I'll show you guys right now. All right, I went to the store and I found me something I thought would work. Well, I found that bit, and it was the perfect size of the dowel pin hole. And that's all that lines these, okay? There's no pallet bushing at all in these things, right guys? There's none at all. So there's nothing there to guide this up straight. So on this, it's got to have a dowel pin, you know? And when they're oblong like that, it was going in, and it literally was so tight you couldn't crank the motor over by hand. I always check that. And you couldn't even check, couldn't even crank it. Once I found this piece, You guys can probably see, let me see if I can see how we went to right here and it tapered. We only took that much of it out. As you guys can see, we still got a ton of space back in here that's good for the dowel pin. So I talked to the guy that ended up assembling it, making the custom shims for it, Anthony. And he told me that's perfectly fine. We have more than enough. So once I got that straight, it went right on there with the single disc. And the reason why I say the single disc is because we got issues with clutch masters. They've been sending they sent the wrong throwout bearing. So in that video where I talked about maybe you could use this throwout bearing, just scratch that. That can't be used. Other guys have gotten this throwout bearing that goes right on here and had no issues. All right, they sent them the right one. This guy refuses to send me the right one, Kevin from Clutch Masters. Now he's saying that I have to send the whole twin disc back in and have something custom, I don't know, something done. They're going to try to make more space. So I really don't know. The only reason I went with Clutch Masters is because a lot of people brag them up in the community of, you know, imports, front wheel drives, and it's been a headache, guys. And another reason is because they made about 14 of these kits in a lifetime. It's not a one-off. It's not the first one. It isn't this. You know, it's not a one-off thing. And I'm having a hell of a time with them. It's been over 30 days dealing with them. Now we got to send it back in. So I really don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully they can figure it out, guys. We were supposed to be racing next weekend at Spring Nationals. That's not going to happen. We don't even, you know, we can't get the car tuned now, and it's delayed all kinds of stuff. And then we have the biggest stick shift race in history, local to me, literally right down the road. And we may take this just because we could do maybe a few little things and take it. I don't know. We'll lose in it, but at least we participated because we locked in anyway. And, you know, feel like an ass not showing up. But yeah, I mean, it's way out of my power right now. I mean, once Clutch Masters can finally understand what they're supposed to do and get this right, you know, I'll be ready to rock and roll. But until then, you know, they're holding me up. They're holding the whole program up, you know. I can't move to the next step. I don't even know if my DSX axles are going to fit. I can't move to the next step until, you know, they tell me that, hey, we got your clutch fixed and we know what we're supposed to do with it now after we done did 14, but for some reason we can't figure out yours. I don't know. It's almost like the moon landing going on here, you know. Figured out how to get there in the 60s, can't do it in the 2000s. I don't know, man. It just, I really don't know what to say, guys. Yeah, we got a second coat on these. We're going to put a third coat on it, and then we're going to start putting them on the car. I think that'll do it. But the good news is, guys, this transmission does slide on and it is free. I'll put a video of that right now of it spinning freely with the clutch up on it. There's no binding, no nothing now, so it's good. Transmission slid right up on, and we're good. Okay, you guys see these dowel pins? They are pretty deep, and we have more than half of that still going in the back. Slides right up on. It was straight. It's good to go. Everything's good. So that's a good thing. You know what I mean? That's figured out. So one thing down, but we gotta keep going here. This sucks that the engine's been sitting outside this long. You can see the cranks even starting to rust up some because it just waiting on these guys to, you know, hopefully figure out. They're both in there now. Looks pretty good to me. I like it. Definitely works for me. Now we gotta fill in where I cut out over here. Yes, I should have hole sawed it, but because right now we got hair that's gonna come back and catch into this. So what we did was we made this, this will go over it just like that. We'll hold solid. Yeah, I should have done that to begin with, but I didn't. And as I was just gonna let it like that and not really care. But we're gonna go ahead and do that to that, paint that, get a hole saw, go through there, and then probably get a fire ring around the middle of it. So it won't look too bad. And plus, more arrow. And the air can't get through there. I don't know if you guys remember, but the Mistress, when we put these in, we gained 3 miles an hour. Which, 3 miles an hour is a lot for just maybe $30 worth of material here. Paint, rivets, a little bit of metal. Yeah, you know, maybe about 30 bucks. So that's about 3 miles an hour is about like 30 horsepower. So it's almost like 30 horsepower for 30 bucks. You can't beat that, you know. You spend a lot of money trying to get 30 horsepower most of the time. Or you got to crank the motor up even more, and you're dealing with a stock motor, you can't really do anything. And that's what we started doing the other years. We were running 30 pounds of boost, and we're like, what can we do? So we put those on and gained 3 miles an hour, and then we put a drag alignment on it and gained 5 miles an hour. So we went from 123 to 126 to, well, actually we gained 6 miles an hour to 132. We did have 133 mile an hour passes last year as well. But it'd be nice to put something over in here too. I don't really want to put that in there, but it'd be nice to put something right here and block this off. Piece of aluminum or something where we can weld from here to here on the tanks, and then that would get rid of that gap, so it doesn't look, you know, that would help too with aero. And when you're drag racing, you can tape all that off like we do. We tape everything like that off. Probably gonna start taping the headlights off too. You see some mile an hour differences. I've seen some guys do some stuff that you wouldn't think would do anything, but just like right here, if you tape from here to here and then tape the front end, I've seen guys get like 5 miles an hour, not on this platform, but on different cars. So, and the faster you go, the more the aero really helps, you know what I mean? But even us slow guys, us 10-second slow guys, need that kind of stuff. And eventually I like to run a 10 in this. We gotta get LSD and suspension yet for it. We got the suspension in the black car. Once we upgrade that on the Mistress, then we'll be good to go. We'll take her coilovers, put them in this one, then we'll get an LSD for it, like I've been saying, like a Quaife probably. And another thing we did today is street car, so
can apply online at ADUSA distribution shop.
I want to put that on for a while. Street car, so we put a radio in it, which actually ended up putting a nice little cubby hole in here for us. So we got that. I'm happy with that. And radio now in this, and maybe AC in the future. I don't know, but I think it's possible to run a 10 car or 10.9 in this car with very little weight taken out. And we'll see what we can do in the future. What we can push the stock limitations in this car with a lot of interior, radio, possibly AC, back seat, all that kind of stuff. But we could take all that out to run a pass as well. Still doesn't make it a street car when you take it out and put it back, right? That's the best thing about a street car, is they're diverse. You can do anything you want with them. You know, that panel, that seat, the back seat. spare tire, all that. Add up to 100 pounds pretty quick. And you might have an hour and a half taking it out, an hour and a half putting it back in. Not bad. But thanks for watching, guys. That was the update on the Mistress and some goodies for the daily turbo car. Thanks for watching.